everyone is so kind-hearted. If you need help, they are always ready to help. They are so good people. It's like rather than staying at home, like I love to go to Carlton Wine Room.
We finish our week-long mini-series at Carlton Wine Room with today's chat with Binod Gautam. Binod is chef de partie at this very fine Carlton restaurant where it has been an absolute pleasure to spend the week. Binod came to Australia from Nepal to study IT. Far from his home and needing to finance his life and study in Melbourne, he worked in various cleaning and restaurant jobs. It wasn't until he started at Carlton Wine Room that he felt like he'd found his Australian family. So many Australian restaurants have Nepali people working in them. I absolutely loved getting Binod's perspective on his working life in Australia.
My name is Binod Gautam. I'm working as a safety party in Carlton Wine Room. I'm back from Nepal, one of the parts of Asian country. So it's been like I'm here in Australia since like 3.5 years. I wasn't pretty sure like I'll be working in the kitchen when I was in backcountry, and I came here. Like I started finding the jobs. I've been to the different jobs like cleaning, kitchen hand, and some of the classes work in a bar. And I went further and like I started loving working in a kitchen. And I found like I worked at lots of kitchen before, and like then I moved to a Carlton Wine Room. Then I found like the people I needed, the caring, lovely, and to be on a part of a good team. Then I started working there, and like I'm loving the kitchen work now. To begin, like I started as a kitchen hand, then I gradually moved to a fryer, then I did like apps, and now I'm learning the meat at the moment. So yeah, the position I'm a safety party.
Binod is from Chitwan district in southwestern Nepal. In his backcountry, as Binod says, there's nothing remotely like a Melbourne-style restaurant.
So I'm from the middle part of Nepal. It's the town called Chiton. Till I came here, I was studying my higher education. Like I studied up to grade 12. Then I planned to study IT in Australia, so I came to here in Australia for the higher education. For generally talking about the food, we don't have like a fancy restaurants as we have in Australia. It's like a casual restaurant, have some casual snacks, not a fancy restaurant. Like I wasn't dreaming of having a restaurant like this in our country. So yeah, I was like really excited to see the restaurant like this.
There's been lots of things about Melbourne food that surprised Binod. So what did he eat in Nepal?
Generally for the lunch and dinner, we have a rice and curries, like different types of curries. And for the snacks, like the pretty popular one is the momo and Nepalese dumplings. We usually have like dumplings, a food called chow mein, like it's like noodles. We grow our own vegetables on our own land. So like it depends upon the season. Like if it's winter, we grow like cauliflower, cabbage, beans and stuff like that.
Coming from regional Nepal to suburban Melbourne was a big change. Binod moved from a place where everyone knew him to a world where everyone was a stranger.
I was just 17 when I arrived to Australia. I was staying in a Heidelberg with a South African family, and like they used to show me around the markets, pretty busy markets, people roaming around here and there, not talking to each other. It was pretty like quite different from my country because like we usually talk to the neighbors. Like everyone's know me in the town as a Binod, but it's like quite different in here. Like you know the people who you work with or like whom you live with. So it was quite different. And for case of work, like I never worked in my back country because I was just 17. I was staying with my parents. My parents were taking care of me. So I was just going to schools, coming back to home. We used to do a full-time study in my back country. So like we never used to work until we turned like 17, 18. So yeah, I was pretty new for everything over here.
Among his many jobs in Melbourne, Binod did a stint at the iconic Hotel Esplanade in St Kilda, which was pretty hard to balance with his studies.
I used to work overnight over the bar. You know the bar in St Kilda, the SP? Yeah, I used to work there. It was like a night job, like get to the job at 9 p.m, finish at early morning in 6. Pretty hard to deal with the drunk people. Like it was quite hard. Like work till 6 in the morning, come home at 7, and get to the uni at 9, and come back from uni at like 2, and have a sleep or a nap till like 5, and then get back to work again. It was like a pretty hard. I used to work as a glassy to begin. Then I was promoted as a food runner.
Binod learnt English at home, but communicating in Australia was quite a different prospect.
We have an English class in our backcountry as well, but like we don't usually often talk English to when we speak it with each other. It was like quite hard. When I came here, like it was hard to understand the things. Like telling you a story. When I used to started working in Carlton, the chef John Paul told me, like, he used to say me the things, but like I don't know what he was saying, and he used to point me the things. Can you please give me that? Sorry, chef. I will give that to you. It was pretty hard.
As a landlocked country, Nepal isn't a big place for seafood. Binod encountered fish and shellfish for the first time at Carlton Wine Room, as well as herbs like parsley and basil, and beef, which was quite confronting because cows are sacred in his Hindu culture.
I was totally new to the seafoods, like a scallop, flounders, the fish, and even for the meats like steaks. We don't slaughter the cow in our backcountry. The cow is our national animal, so it was like even the steaks were totally new for me. I had never tried the steaks and things like that, not even the seafoods. And even for the herbs, like we don't use the herbs for the cooking. Like we just use the mint, but other than mint, the parsley, the basils, the broad bean leaves. We never used to eat the broad bean leaves in our backcountry. We used to have a broad bean leaves, but we used to eat the broad beans, but we never used to eat the broad bean leaves. So like everything was quite different. And when I started eating the food, we get to like try the foods when you came to the menu, and like I was totally like surprised with the taste of the food.
Some people think that international students are supported by family back home, but that's often not the case. Binod arrived here aged just 17 and needed to support himself from the beginning.
The most hardest part for the people, like the students, is like they need to do the job to make the uni fee, and they still need to work. So I used to pay like $18,000 a year for my study. Yeah, like $18,000 a year. I need to save that money for my uni, and like I need to earn for my living expenses as well. Like, so it's pretty hard when you are in a student life. Like working 20 hours a week and saving such a huge money is like pretty hard for them.
There's the work, which she loves, but it's the people that have really endeared Binod to Carlton Wine Room.
They've been the best people I have ever met in this like 3.5 year journey with Australia. They are the kind-hearted people I have seen. Like the Andy, Andy, he's the best human I have ever seen. He's so good in his heart. All the boys, Travis, like I'm not mentioning all the names, but like everyone is so kind-hearted. They try to, if you need help, they are always ready to help. They are so good people. It's like rather than staying at home, like I love to go to Carlton Wine Room. I even talked to Andy. Can you make a space for me in a upper room with a one single bed so I can sleep here? I can wake up in the morning. I can start working. I can have some food, then go back, sleep up there. Why not? Get a sleeping bag, sleep up here. It's so funny.
There's a rhythm to the day at Carlton Wine Room. So how does a typical day actually roll?
We just get to the kitchen usually at 9 a.m. in the morning, and we do the general setup, like getting the things ready, and start to prep for our section. Like we have a rotation on our section, so the head chef start the section will you be in that day. So we're gonna be on a section. We start our prep till 12 a.m. So we start our lunch at 12. So we do our setup for the service and start servicing after 12 and feed the hungry people.
Binod is proud of Nepali's reputation as hard workers, But he also believes that when you have a job you love, it doesn't feel like work at all.
I reckon Nepalese to be a hard worker because most of the Nepalese I have seen and grown with them, like they are pretty hard worker, and the workmates from here also reckons like Nepalese are a hard worker. So they have a good reputation. Like people love to work with Nepalese, I reckon. If you don't feel the work as a work, it's gonna be like way different. Just talking personally about me, I don't feel working in a Carlton Wine Room as my work. I feel as my family. Like I feel like I'm away from my family. I found a new family over there. I started you love to spend your time in your family, right? So if you think the team is a family, you will love there. You love whatever you do. Like you love to work. You love to keep your workplace nice, like a good one as your home, like clean, like try to organize the things, chat with the people, have a coffee. Yeah, it's kind of fun if you love your work.
Despite the challenges he's faced, Binod is really fond of Australian culture, especially the egalitarian attitudes he's noticed.
The best thing I found about Australia is respecting each other. Like even if we have a kind of different culture in our backcountry, we give her a huge respect, and we have different way of talking with the elder ones. Like we need to say our brother, if he's 6 months or a year older, we need to say him a brother. We need to give a huge respect to him. But over here, we are friends, whatever the age be. If I'm 17, he's 25, 30, doesn't matter. We are friends. I find that the best part over the Australia, the best culture.
Travel has been off the table for a couple of years, but Binod is looking forward to a trip home in 2022, especially because he's planning to take his bosses and workmates home to see his family.
We are planning to go back in October. We have a biggest festival of Nepalese. It's a festival called Dasai. It's on October 5. So me, Andy, and two of the other boys are planning to go back to see my parents. It's been 3.5 years I haven't visited them. So yeah, we are pretty excited. How happy my parents will be. They will be totally surprised. They were so surprised when they saw a picture of me posted on a Carlton Wine Room Instagram page as they were looking for safes. They posted the picture of mine and they were so happy. Oh, Binod, you did so good.
International students in Australia often hope to get on a pathway to permanent residency. Binod is hopeful of his chances.
It's pretty hard, but I have talked with the boys, Andy and the Trav. They are happy to sponsor me from the company. So, yeah, it will be quite easier for me than other boys. Yeah. I want to say the Carlton Wine Room is the best place I have ever worked. I want to say to all the people who listen to this podcast, visit Carlton Wine Room, meet our friendly team members, enjoy our delicious food. We will give a hotly welcome to you guys. Visit us. We want to see you. That's all.
This was the final episode in this Dirty Linen mini-series about the Carlton Wine Room. We really hope you've enjoyed it. Huge thanks to Conor, Andy, Bethan, Sayaka and Binod for being part of it and being so generous with their stories. Thanks also to producer Rob Locke and Deep in the Weeds Anthony Huckstep. They're the Deep in the Weeds network, and we've got big plans for our storytelling seasons to come. This has been a super fun project to tackle, but I'm wondering what you think about it. And what other restaurant stories are we missing? Get in touch to let us know. And if you like what we're up to, please leave a rating on your podcast app so more people get to stick us in their ears. See you next week on Dirty Linen. This is Dirty Linen, and I'm Dani Valent. We air the issues that the hospitality industry finds hard to talk about, hearing from different people with unique perspectives. We want to hear from you as well. If you have something that needs to be said about a topic, get in touch so we can include your perspective. Contact us at dirtylinen@deepintheweeds.com.au or hit us up on Insta at Dirty Linen Podcast. We can't wait to hear from you.